the towering skyscrapers built by human hands. Right before our eyes, nature's true master builders, birds, are crafting architectural masterpieces that rival and often surpass the complexity of human structures. These avian architects, driven not by blueprints, but by instinct honed over millions of years, display a profound harmony between purpose and artistry. Their homes built from twigs, mud, leaves, silk, and feathers are not just shelters, but symbols of survival, courtship, devotion, and ingenuity. Among the finest artisans of the natural world is the bow weaver. The male of the species weaves intricate teardrop-shaped nests suspended from high tree branches. Constructed entirely by the male using long, flexible strands of grass, these nests are an act of patience and skill. The entrance is a narrow tunnel that leads into a protected inner chamber, ingeniously designed to guard against sun, rain, and predators. If the female deems the craftsmanship inadequate, the male must tear it down and begin anew, highlighting a relentless pursuit of perfection, where love and design converge. In the forests of New Guinea, the bowerbird takes the concept of avian architecture into the realm of performance art. Unlike nests that serve primarily as shelters, the bower is a decorative stage used for courtship. The male painstakingly gathers twigs, berries, shells, and even colorful bits of plastic, arranging them in elaborate patterns by size and color. When a female approaches, she evaluates not just the male's appearance, but also the aesthetic balance and symmetry of his creation. If unsatisfied, she moves on, and the male is left to reconstruct and improve his art. Here, instinct and beauty fuse into an expression of attraction and intelligence. In the rainforests of Central America, the Montezuma orapendula practices aerial engineering. Males build several long hanging nests up to 2 m in length that sway gently from the treetops. These woven baskets are positioned in places inaccessible to predators, and their motion in the wind acts like a cradle, subtly preparing the chicks for life in the canopy. It's an elegant blend of safety and beauty, function, and form. The sociable weaver of southern Africa offers a different model altogether. Rather than build individual nests, these birds create vast communal structures that resemble giant haystacks hanging from trees or telephone poles. Inside these masses of dry grass and twigs lie dozens of separate chambers, housing up to 100 bird families. These nests can last for decades. Their internal design cleverly engineered. Upper chambers stay warm during cold nights and lower ones remain cool in the heat. What appears chaotic from the outside is in fact a meticulously organized cooperative society. Sometimes even shared with reptiles and other animals, making it a monument to adaptation and shared survival. In South America, the ovenbird constructs a nest as if it were crafting pottery. True to its name, this bird builds dome-shaped structures from mud and dried grass that resemble miniature clay ovens. Using their beaks and feet, they mold the mud into a hard, weather-resistant shell once dried by the sun. These nests are often perched on fence posts or tree branches and serve as a durable refuge from both predators and environmental extremes. Each one reflects the unique signature of its builder, marrying individual flair with functional design. At the other end of the size spectrum is the ruby-throated hummingbird, one of the smallest birds on Earth, which constructs a nest no larger than a bottle cap. Despite its diminutive size, the nest is an engineering marvel. Built from moss, plant fibers, and spider silk, it has the elasticity to expand as the chicks grow. Camouflaged with bark and lichen, it blends seamlessly into its surroundings, nearly invisible to predators. It's a quiet miracle, delicate yet strong, fragile yet resilient. In the rainforests of Southeast Asia, the great hornbill takes nesting to theatrical heights. The female selects a tree hollow and seals herself inside with mud and resin, leaving only a narrow slit through which the male feeds her during incubation. This complete isolation keeps her and the chicks safe from predators. The male tirelessly provides food for weeks, and only when the chicks are ready to face the world does the female break through the sealed entrance. This ritual of seclusion, sacrifice, and cooperation is a profound declaration of love and survival. In Africa's sun-scorched savannas, the southern masked weaver demonstrates an acute awareness of environmental factors. Before beginning construction, these birds consider the direction of wind, the angle of sunlight, and daily temperature fluctuations. The resulting spherical nests have thick roofs and downward-facing entrances that regulate temperature. Cool by day, warm by night. Crafted entirely with beak and feet, these structures are exercises in both function and form. If a female is unimpressed, she simply flies off, and the male must begin again. Meanwhile, flamingos, residents of harsh salt lakes and wetlands, build tall, cone-shaped nests of mud that rise above rising waters and protect their single egg from flooding and temperature extremes. Shared equally between both parents, these mud towers become fortresses against nature's fury. When seen in vast colonies, thousands of these nests resemble a surreal cityscape, each tower a monument to survival and unity. In the cooler landscapes of Europe, the bee-eater opts for more concealed design. These birds dig long tunnels up to 2 m in sandy river banks and hillsides. At the end of the tunnel lies a hidden incubation chamber. During courtship, males present captured bees and wasps to their mates, carefully removing the stingers beforehand. The result is not only a safe shelter, but a nest steeped in mutual care and ritual. Equally clever is the pendulum tit, whose hanging pouch-like nests resemble natural handbags swaying at the tips of branches. Constructed with plant fibers, feathers, and spider silk, the nests often include a decoy entrance to confuse predators, while the real opening remains hidden beneath a false layer. The male starts the nest, but once paired, both partners finish the construction together, a seamless blend of teamwork and trickery. In the watery marshes, the purple gallinule balances delicately across floating vegetation. Its bowl-shaped nest, though seemingly fragile, is remarkably resilient to water movement and flooding. Built atop reeds or lily pads, both parents contribute to raising the chicks, displaying grace and cooperation in equal measure. Their long toes allow them to glide across the surface like royalty walking on water. Their nests, serene and balanced platforms in an ever-shifting world. On African lakes, the jacana challenges traditional gender roles. The male constructs a floating nest from lily pads and aquatic plants, balancing it perfectly on the water's surface. He alone incubates the eggs and shelters the chicks, even carrying them under his wings when danger looms. With wide splayed toes, he walks across water vegetation as if weightless. His devotion transforms the simple act of nesting into a moving portrait of paternal care. Across every continent, birds demonstrate astonishing creativity and adaptability in nest design. These structures are not haphazard piles of twigs, but rather calculated responses to environmental challenges, predators, climate, and courtship rituals. Each species carries an innate blueprint, a biological inheritance passed down through countless generations that dictates not only how to build, but where, with what, and for what purpose. Architecture in this context is not merely shelter, but a form of expression and survival strategy honed by evolution. Consider the tailorbird of tropical Asia. This tiny songbird doesn't build with sticks or mud. Instead, it uses living leaves as its foundation, piercing their edges with its beak and threading plant fibers or spider silk through the holes, essentially sewing the leaf into a cradle. Inside, it builds a soft bed from cotton and feathers. This behavior, astonishingly close to human sewing, demonstrates how even the smallest bird can replicate acts once thought to be uniquely human with elegance, purpose, and precision. Then there's the megapode or mound builder bird of Australasia. These birds don't use body heat to incubate their eggs. Instead, they build enormous mounds of decomposing vegetation, which act as natural incubators. As the organic material breaks down, it releases heat. The male constantly monitors and adjusts the temperature, adding or removing material as needed. These mounds, sometimes meters wide, are nature's thermostats, showing that birds, too, can master thermodynamics in service of reproduction. In the Arctic, the snowy owl builds simple nests on the ground. Yet, their choice of location is strategic, usually on raised patches to avoid melting snow and flooding. The shallow scrapes are lined with their own feathers for insulation. In these frigid landscapes, minimalism is key. Still, these understated nests are marvels of placement and climate adaptation. Cliff swallows across North America build communal nests out of mud, attached in clusters to cliff faces or under bridges. Each gourd-shaped structure is made of hundreds of mud pellets and clings to the wall with astonishing strength. The colonies, often numbering in the hundreds, are noisy and bustling like a feathered apartment complex. The organization mirrors our own urban designs. Tight-knit, efficient, and built for security in numbers. Every one of these nests, be it a floating bowl, a dangling pouch, a stitched leaf, or a castle of mud, tells a story. They speak of survival against the odds, of evolution's quiet brilliance, of instinct passed down through time. They are testaments to cooperation, creativity, and resilience. In every thread of spider silk, in every twig bent into place, lies the unspoken truth. That life, even in its smallest forms, is capable of building greatness. Even within these incredible structures, bird nests are not static entities. They evolve, change, and adapt over time. Not just across generations, but sometimes even within a single nesting season. Birds will modify their designs based on materials available, climate shifts, or lessons learned from previous failures. This dynamic approach to construction demonstrates a kind of flexible intelligence, instinct working hand in hand with environmental feedback. For instance, birds like the house martin and barn swallow, common in temperate regions, return to the same nesting sites year after year, often under the eaves of houses or cliff sides. Their nests are built with hundreds of tiny mud pellets meticulously collected and stacked layer by layer to form half-cup shapes. These homes adhere to vertical surfaces with incredible tenacity. Despite being made of fragile material, the birds engineer their homes to withstand wind, rain, and the test of time. Some pairs even renovate old nests, reinforcing weak points and rebuilding walls, just as humans would restore an ancestral home. Then there are birds like the horned coot of the Andes, which defies expectations by building floating nests in high-altitude lakes. These birds transport thousands of stones to create a stable foundation beneath the water, then build a nest atop the submerged platform. It's a monumental effort requiring coordination and strength, like raising an island from the depths. Few would expect such industriousness from a bird. Yet, this seemingly unremarkable species performs feats that rival large-scale human construction in terms of ambition and precision. Consider also the palm swift, whose nest is a minimalist masterpiece. Rather than building a bulky structure, the swift uses saliva to glue a feather-thin cup to the underside of a palm frond. These nests can withstand swaying winds and sharp movements, all while holding the delicate eggs in place. In the same spirit, cave nesting swifts in Southeast Asia take saliva artistry to another level. They build entire nests solely from hardened spit, clinging to the high, dark ceilings of limestone caves. These nests are so prized for their delicacy and purity that they are harvested to make bird's nest soup. Considered a delicacy in some cultures, even the behavior surrounding nest building carries emotional and social depth. The act of choosing a location, gathering materials, and completing the nest often reflects an intricate dance between mates, a shared ritual that reinforces bonds and signals readiness for parenthood. In many species, the male begins the construction as a show of strength, skill, and suitability. The female in turn evaluates not just the nest structure but also what it says about the builder's capabilities. If impressed, she joins the effort. If not, she moves on. This balance of instinct, artistry, and social signaling reveals a layer of complexity that rivals any human ritual of homebuilding or courtship. Bird nests then are not simply structures. They are dynamic stories written in mud, grass, feathers, silk, and time. They are biological blueprints of problem-solving under pressure.